Hello, my name is Paige Moser. I am currently a graduate student at Walden University, working towards my master's in social work. I also have my alcohol and drug trainee status, and I'm finishing up all the requirements I need in order to apply for my CACAD. So with that being said, I'm currently taking this course, social work with groups course, interviewing and counseling course, and I'm doing an internship course as well as 2 graduate level courses. I also work full-time for Shepherd Pratt as a case manager, and I wouldn't have it any other way. It's just this semester is just extremely intense. It won't be like this for other semesters though. You may ask, well, how can you manage all of that? And my answer is Narcotics Anonymous. What is Narcotics Anonymous? NA is a nonprofit fellowship of individuals who've struggled with drug addiction. We are individuals in recovery who gather frequently to support each other in staying clean. Our program advocates for total abstinence from all substances. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop using. Now, what I like about Narcotics Anonymous, too, is that we welcome all addicts. And the disease of addiction doesn't have to be just drugs. It can be from like overeating or being egotistic or lying or gambling, any of that. All are welcome. And so during our meetings, we open up with the serenity prayer, which is God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that prayer in itself is very powerful. Now, when we open up our meetings, we do the readings. Once the meeting is open, members can share on where they're at. There's no cross-talking. Different meetings have different formats and topics. There's speaker meetings, which is when you have a Narcotics Anonymous member share their experience, strength, and hope to the group. There's literature meetings. My home group's a literature meeting. We read out the Just for Today book Wednesday nights, and then Saturday nights we read out of Living Clean, The Journey Continues. And we also read out of the It Works, How and Why, which reviews the 12 steps and the 12 traditions. There's also meetings that are just open format. There is meetings that are just for women or just for men. It all depends, but these meetings can be found all over the place. There's an app I use. You can just put in your zip code and it'll tell you what meetings are when, at what time, and where, which is really nice. So at our meetings, anyone is welcome. Closed meetings are only open to addicts. So any age, gender, religion, sexual identity, anyone, you're welcome. Children, they're welcome. But I'll be honest, I go to a lot of meetings and I haven't found a Narcotics Anonymous meeting that was closed. But I have been to AA meetings that are closed. History of NA. Jimmy K is the founder of NA, started in 1953 in Los Angeles, California. So his aim was to help addicts. We had AA going on, and AA influenced what we now have with NA. And so thank God for AA, or else we wouldn't have NA. But members of AA that struggled with drugs didn't feel included. A lot of the old timers in AA were like, well, we don't talk about drugs here, it's just alcohol. Well, if alcohol isn't your problem, how can you relate? It's not that helpful. So I struggled being an AA because I was able to stop drinking, and I thought I was okay, but I was still using, and it was like, oh, I gotta go to NA, and they're like, nah, can't be using these drugs, you're not clean. Oh, but I was sober in AA. Whatever, that's a different story. So this initiative emerged to respond to the absence of support for drug addiction with AA. Okay, I said that. And so, yeah, we got AA. They started with the white booklet, and then I think they came up with the basic text in the 80s. Now we're at the 6th edition that came out in 2008. The NA symbol. So the square in the circle represents honesty, willingness, and open-mindedness, and humility. These are 4 key attributes members strive to practice in their lives. The circle around the square represents wholeness, oneness, and the strength of Narcotics Anonymous. And in the square, you got self, God, society, and service. So self is taking an honest look at oneself, and you really got to do some work, deep work inside you. God represents the spiritual awakening, some sort of higher power. We're not going to get so caught up in the word God. I can go on about this, but I don't want this PowerPoint to last half an hour, and I'm sure you don't want that either. Service, helping others, strengthening their sobriety, helping others. It just helps ourselves, and being of service is a great way to do that. Society, this represents carrying the message to the addict who still suffers, or this can be by sponsoring and just contributing to society, being an active member of society, and living by those spiritual principles such as honesty, willingness, humility, open-mindedness, how it works. Now, I'm not going to go over each of the steps. I'm going to kind of summarize them. 1, 2, and 3 are pretty much saying, like, look, I don't know what I'm doing. I have a problem, and I need help, and I believe that a higher power can help me and bring me back to sanity. And 4, 5, and 6 is coming up with an inventory of ourselves and looking at our own wrongs. A lot of times addicts are like, well, I did this because this person did this, or I deserve this, when the reality is, it's like, what part did you play in? And then you give it over to God, you share it to your sponsor. This Narcotics Anonymous Step Working Guide, amazing. It's like a lot of pages, probably like 100 pages or something. Like step 1, I think, has 84 questions. So it really forces you to dive deep into these steps and really get to know yourself. I highly recommend that anybody, doesn't matter if you're a drug addict or not, to work these steps. It definitely has saved my life. 7, 8, and 9, we are talking about listing who we have harmed and making these amends. 10, 11, and 12, we continue doing what we're doing, and we continue to correct our wrongs and continue to be a better person and continue to ask God's will for us, not our own, and to continue helping other addicts. Effectiveness of Narcotics Anonymous. So there's evidence that indicates that Narcotics Anonymous is actually better and has better outcomes than other well-established treatments, such as cognitive behavioral therapy. I don't believe that's for everyone, but worked for me. The attendance of 12-step meetings reduces substantial health care cost among alcohol use disorders. meeting makers make it, right? Those who attend NA meetings more frequently demonstrate a higher likelihood of abstaining from opiates and alcohol compared to non-intenders and individuals who attend infrequently, less than once a week. But back to the meeting makers make it, like, I disagree with that. I see people required to go to meetings every day and they don't get anything from it because they don't put the work in. Like anything, if you want to see results, you gotta put work in. So yes, go to more meetings, the more likely you are to succeed, but there's work that comes with that. The basic text states that, those who keep coming to our meetings regularly stay clean. Those who actually work the program stay clean. And what I mean by work the program, I mean like getting a sponsor, getting a home group, being of service. Being of service can be something as simple as being a greeter at the door. Something different about AA and NA too. NA we hug, and I like that. It really makes people feel loved and welcome. So, yeah, like I said, getting a sponsor, being of service. I go into area service. That's where all the meetings in the area meet up into one place and talk about old business, new business, who needs help with what are we donating to area, what are we donating to world. It's a lot. I shouldn't dive into that right now. Recommendations for practice. I think it is important to encourage clients to attend some kind of 12-step meeting. I would encourage attendance to Narcotics Anonymous meetings to clients who struggled with drugs rather than alcohol. I would ask the client to actually work the program, not just going to meetings, as I stated before. These are my references, and I hope I didn't blabber on too long. Thank you.